Hello, everybody. This is your primary host, Gabi, speaking, and chief editor. Only editor. Only editor. Yeah, it's all up to me. If I don't edit, they don't get put out. It's unfortunate. But, you know, it is what it is. What could we do? Well, Jerry could edit, but he doesn't. And also, I don't trust his editing. I have a keen ear for what the people want to hear. Anyway, we just attended BGG-Con Spring over the Memorial Day weekend. Had an absolute great time with not only amongst ourselves as the Snobs, but also our dear friends and listeners that were able to join us. But due to the long weekend and then coming home, it being a Memorial Day weekend, spending time with family, etc., I wasn't able to get anything edited. We did get one recorded. It'll be out next week, and we still have yet to podcast about the wrap-up and the other days that we played. We played many good games that we look forward to telling you about. Some were one-offs that we had done earlier in our in the pantheon of games played. Is that a word? Is that the right phrase? I don't think so. But what I'm saying is we've played them once a long time ago and haven't got back to them, but we're able to get back to them again. Such as Die Mocker or Democker. I'm still not sure. Anyway, I'm still sick. I'm still coughing and sneezing and snotty-nosed amigos. But anyway, so because of that reason, we have a classic episode for you coming up. This is episode number 23. We discuss Game of Thrones, modern art, and high society. And also, this is the one where Jerry gets lost and goes off on animal groupings. It's a good time. Hope you enjoy. Bye-bye.
No.
We're in our next podcast. We've already started.
No.
Yes.
No, start over.
Go. Thanks, Nigel.
No, did you really do that?
Go. We're going.
No.
Yes, this is it.
No.
Cold open.
Let me tell you about these cold.
Super cold open.
Oh, I hate cold opens.
Welcome to the Board Game Snobs podcast. Critically harsh reviews with a touch of class.
And welcome to Board Game Snob. I'm Gabi.
I'm Jerry.
That was Jerry.
Yeah.
Today,
We're going to talk about board games.
we're going to talk about board games.
We're going to talk about one of the funnest days we had in a long time.
It was a good day.
We took off July the 4th. Most people
We
have
had
day
off.
We had
Yes.
off.
We didn't take off.
And so
had
we
off.
just gathered and we called up everybody we liked to invite them over, and nobody showed.
Which is all but two people.
And so we had Enrique,
Enrique was here.
and we had an alternate. We had Zacchaeus.
It's okay. I did not realize that was his name.
He doesn't go by Zacchaeus. He goes by Zach.
He calls Zach.
Yeah, because he thinks Zacchaeus is weird.
It's an unusual name, but I like it.
It makes him sound
It's
like
a
he's a
strong name.
like he's a Roman.
This is Zacchaeus.
Zacchaeus.
It's
He
a
has-
good, strong
He has a
name.
mustache.
It's better than Gabrielle.
Yeah. Yeah. I won't argue with you there. Gabrielle. We played the most cutthroat game of the cutthroat games,
Jerry's favorite.
Game of Thrones. But we played with an expansion, A Feast for Crows, which, what do crows eat? Are they carrions? Do they eat bodies?
Yes.
Are they?
Yes.
Crows are incredibly intelligent.
So I hear.
Yes.
I don't see any in college, though.
Well, they'll recognize you.
What are they going to do?
Well, they know that it's you.
How do they know me?
Nah, because they can tell by your shiny bald head. And they go, look at that fat guy. And they're all
I think all they do is murder people, and that's why they're called murders. Right?
a large group of crows is called a murder.
Why? Seems rude.
Well, it's just a term.
Is that what you wanted? How does murder mean slaying the life of one person? Unless you're a group of crows, and it means you should all hang out together.
Yeah. Wouldn't that
doesn't
be
make any
weird?
sense.
You know, it's like we have gangs here. What if they called it something else? Like, that's what the problem is. Gang, that sounds cool. If we called it like a gaggle, look at that. So what gaggle are you a part of?
Gaggle of guys
What
over
gaggle
there.
of guys? Everybody would drop out.
They all have knives. That's interesting.
There's a
Why are they
gaggle.
coming at me?
Gaggle.
This gaggle of guys is coming after me.
No.
It doesn't hold the sign.
No, see, it just sounds weird.
Yeah.
That would end gang violence as we know it. let's start that.
So, Murder of Crows was an interesting expansion.
A feast for crows.
Oh, same thing. If you have a feast, how many crows are going to be there?
At least 2.
A bunch of them.
So that's a murder.
It's a feast. You get a bunch of crows together, murder.
But you see, they didn't call it a feast for murder because that would have been weird. That's like Donner Party.
Well, yes.
History.
Cannibalism.
Yeah.
I
So
know who the Donners are.
you do?
The Dahmers?
Donner.
Dahmers?
Donner.
Same thing.
Nope.
They both hate people.
Buy a book.
Went down
Anyway.
a weird path here.
What a weird. Yeah. That was not something you want to see in the magazine rack.
From
Okay.
Game of Thrones to cannibalism. Go ahead.
Game of Thrones, if you don't know of it.
I'll let you do most talking. So this is your favorite game of all time.
All right. I thank you for that,
I'm gonna turn my mic-
Gabriella.
I'm gonna turn my mic.
Turn that off. A Game of Thrones
Listen to Jewel.
by Fantasy
talking.
Flight.
Great company
Great company.
that owns nearly everything.
Everything.
Wait. Question. Are they?
Go ahead. I'll listen to your
I've got
question.
a question.
I got the question. Go ahead.
Are they Asmodee?
They were purchased by Asmodee, but they
So
did
they're
not
under
change.
the Asmodee banner.
They're on the Asmodee. Yes, they have been bought
Okay.
out. They sold out.
Interesting. So
That-
now they sold out, but literally.
Yeah,
They
they literally
themselves.
sold out.
Okay.
Yeah.
Doesn't necessarily mean they went against their own principles, which is what sold out should mean.
No, but they literally took the principle of their company and sold it to another.
Okay. So
Okay, does that make sense?
They sold themselves,
They sold themselves.
which also could be bad.
That's very bad. One should not sell themselves, even if it's for $1 billion, which is probably not how much.
If I had
Had
$1 billion.
No.
Hey, let me look up Barenaked Ladies real quick.
So Game
We're
of
going to
Thrones.
segue this podcast into a musical podcast where we just review songs from the 90s.
A Game of Thrones is it's a 3 to 6 player game of negotiation and area control. You do not have to be a fan of a Game of Thrones to play this game. The first time I played a Game of Thrones, the second edition, I had no clue what Game of Thrones was really about or anything. I never watched an episode. It is a great, great game. However, 2 things about it. Number 1, there's a 3 things about it. There's a 40-page rule book and a lot of errata on Board Game Geek to clarify some of the rules. The game is
Hold on. Sometimes you throw terms out there that, as board game snobs, we understand.
right. So do you want me to clarify
But
what the rule book is?
What if someone just tuned in and like, hey, we're going to check out this podcast. 2 cool guys, 2 wild and crazy guys. Another super old reference. What is errata? For the listeners, I know what it means.
It's a gathering of rats.
A murder of
It's a
rats.
group of rats. No, it's the errata. It's the.
Oh, that sounds different.
That sounds weird. It's basically the eras or the clarification of the rules.
Oh, okay.
That's what it is.
Is it errata or is it errata?
I don't know, but you're making this weird, and I'm moving along.
Okay, go ahead.
So the game, once you've learned it, it's very easy. It's very straightforward. People tend to make it more out of it than what it really should be. Number 2, 5 hours. You play it with 6 people. You're going to play a 5-hour game.
Oh my God.
It's long and it's tiresome to play it, but
Our first game was brutal.
7 hours.
I enjoyed it,
Oh, it's good.
but it was a brutal
I
game. We played it at the full 6 players.
Love that game.
You taught it to us. We learned it. We started about 9 o'clock. I think we finished about 5 o'clock that
Man,
evening.
it was good. It was good.
And DJ won
Oh yeah, darn.
because he came down from the south,
From the north.
from the north.
You come down
Right.
from the north.
Come
You
down
go up from the south
He came down from the north.
with his murder
Yes.
and murdered
Yes. And
after I betrayed him.
yeah,
It was a wonderful game.
like he literally did not much the whole game. He was kind of just in the background, but then the last few, what do you have to do for victory in the game?
In the base game, you capture 7 strongholds or castles,
Okay.
which he
so
did.
He must have come down the last few minutes and captured a stronghold or 2.
Very did.
As
He
me,
did.
I remember me and Zacchaeus and you were in the middle of the map.
We fought.
And we just fought back and forth the whole
We
time.
fought. Many a time we backstabbed each other.
And you usually backstab me always.
I did.
And it makes me angry. And it hurts my feelings.
Sorry.
I don't think you are.
I am.
This game, literally your first move this game was betraying me and siding with Enrique.
Enrique's my bruh, as the kids say.
I was the Lannisters.
My bruh.
You were who?
I was the
Baratheons.
I'm always the Baratheons.
Enrique was
Greyjoys.
No.
Yeah, he
what?
was the Greyjoys.
No, not this game. This game he was the
Hey, he
green
was the
people.
expansion that I can't remember. The Aryans. No, not the Aryans. That's the nation. The Arans. Sorry about that.
They are all white.
Well, no, that's another gang. Another
Yes, murder.
no, another what was
Oh.
the term that we're trying to use for gangs now?
Gaggle.
Gaggle. That's another
Gaggle
gaggle.
people.
Gaggle of people.
Yes.
So he was the expansion. And anyway, long story short, Game of Thrones. Man, this has gone downhill. We're super fast. We're 10 minutes
If
in.
we did not follow just every thought we possessed, we might could get through a podcast without heavy editing.
Hey, well, no, all about that heavy editing.
I'm all about, okay.
Anyways, if you like area control, but more importantly, if you like negotiation,
I don't actually.
I
'cause I'm
love
terrible at it.
negotiation.
Literally, the first negotiating I did was with you.
Yep.
I thought I had you.
You thought, but I'm slippery.
You're a snake. You're a slippery snake.
How dare you?
I thought you were in my back pocket.
Mhm.
Enrique started to attack me. I was like, Jerry, I need you right now. Help the Lannisters.
I was like, nah.
He's like, no. You were like, yeah. And then Enrique attacks. And Baratheon's like, hey, Enrique, I will help you defeat the Lannisters. And my heart broke. And I was worthless from there on out.
I watched
I
it.
actually told you I'd give up from there on out.
Yes, you did.
But I didn't. I actually came in third.
Out of 4? Out of 4?
Hey, that's not last.
That's not last. Anyways, this game, there's the
Feast for Crows.
Yes, a Feast for Crows. Specifically. Makes the game for 4 players. Now, you can buy the vanilla game, the base game, and play it with 4 players, but it's not any good. The way that the map's set up. It's not a 3-player game. It's not a 4-player game. You can play the base game at 5 players, and one of the players down south will have a pretty heavy advantage. It's best at 6 players. But if you have 4 players and you have the Feast for Crows expansion, it turns the game into a much more quicker, enjoyable experience. It was just 2.5 hours, I believe it was. 2 hours?
Something like that.
Was great. Now, the thing about Game of Thrones is that you have to realize, if you don't know about it, is that there is a negotiation aspect cobbled with deterministic, the way it resolve with the combat. So basically, you pretty well know going into a situation how many men you have, how many men your opponent have, and who's going to win. It comes down to who is going to help you, who's going to side with you. So the neighboring territories, if they are other players, they will commit their forces to help you. And that's where the negotiation comes from. And you don't know who's going to be on your side until it happens. And so there is a lot of backstabbing when you promise one player that you're going to help them. And then when they attack this person, you're like, nah, never mind. We didn't show up.
Jerry.
Yeah. Or you tell them you're going to help them and then
Oh, you showed up just on the
other side. Yes. It is one of the greatest feelings in the game
It
of
is.
knowing that you have backstabbed
I'm
someone.
sure it is on your side.
It
But on
is.
my side, my heart broke.
It makes me.
But that actually, I mean, I was angry.
You were angry.
This game made me angry.
You yelled.
I was upset, but I love the fact that a board game brought that out in me.
Mm.
Just the fact that I was that into it. We had this going on. It was thematic. It is an amazing game. Zacchaeus was up north.
You won.
He was House Stark. Literally. Okay. So I was House Lannister. We're kind of in the middle. In a 4-player game on Feast for Crows, it blocks out the southern, all the south.
All the south is
All the south
unassailable.
is, you can't, inaccessible. So what you just said?
Unassailable.
Unassailable and inaccessible.
Yes. That is correct.
Oh, my battery's running low. I'll have to plug it back in.
Your laptop or yourself?
Either one. Hold on as I plug my computer in. So, in the Feast for Crows, the south is inaccessible, unassailable. So, me and Jerry were down south. As I was the Lannisters, he was Baratheon, and then Enrique was kind of in the middle, and then the north was Zacchaeus. Me and you battled. Me and Enrique battled. I probably battled, what would you say, 7, 8 times?
I battled 8 times. I
Okay.
kept track of my battles.
I probably battled about the same then. Zach,
Twice.
lost both,
times.
won the game.
Won the game. Because with a Feast for Crows, you're going off a victory point condition, which is occupy these areas and get a victory point at the end of the round. Zach was so smart in the way that he played that at the end of the game, me and him both tied, and it came down to a tiebreaker who had the most land, and he did, and he won it because he maneuvered and negotiated without battle and won the game. He was attacked twice, and each time he was attacked, he lost, but he still won the game.
Yes.
That is why I love this game as a negotiation game. It's not my favorite area control, but when it comes to negotiation,
You might get a point for that.
I love Game of Thrones. It is one of the best games that has it was my favorite game. It probably still is my favorite game.
I think it is probably.
It's probably I foam
actually-
at the mouth thinking of it.
And Feast for Crows probably being, is it, I don't know, is it specifically for 4 players?
Yes, it's all it is 4 players.
Okay. That made it move up in my book.
Great. Yes.
Because Game of Thrones, 6 player, I mean, it was great. It was
all
fine.
day.
But it was a 6 to 7 hour game with us learning it. And I was like burnt out.
I would rather, right now, the way it stands, if you said, let's play Twilight Imperium or play a 6-player Game of Thrones, because they're going to be the same length almost.
Oh, yeah.
I'm going to play Twilight Imperium.
Yeah.
But a 4-player Game of Thrones with the Feast of Crows expansion any day. Love it. You can drag together 4 players. If your board game group loves negotiation, you have to have this game. The 2nd edition, buy the expansion. You will not regret it. It is one of the funnest games I have ever played. Thank you, Christopher Peterson, for making it. The former owner who sold out of Fantasy Flight. You did a wonderful job.
Fantasy Flight Games has a 23-minute tutorial.
And if you watch that,
If you watch it, you know what you're doing.
you'll know what you're getting.
And it's crazy that this game is that big, that long, but in 23 minutes, you get very much the general idea of what you need to do.
Crack open a bottle of whiskey, sit around a table with your friends, and negotiate your way over who's going to win. And what the best thing about this game is that whoever wins was the person that played it the best.
This is my question for you.
The game's
Not,
game.
not a question.
Okay.
More of a
You're
statement.
going to make a statement?
I'm going to make a statement.
That seems powerful.
I'm going to stand on this hill, make a statement.
Go ahead.
It can be conducive to the game as well.
Right?
But
Conducive.
whatever game you play has to do how much you enjoy with.
I would prefer it. I would prefer if you would string together a sentence.
Whatever game you play
Yes.
matters very much so on the people you play with.
Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah. Yeah.
We could have played Game of Thrones. I could have played Game of Thrones. Okay, for instance, I'm gonna go back a step here.
Take it back.
What's the game of coasters?
The game of coasters, Skull.
Skull.
Yeah. Ah.
I played
Love Skull.
Skull with you, Bubba, Enrique. We play it with us and a few others.
Playing Skull with me is the greatest time.
Is anything with you, Jerry, is a joy.
Go ahead. Before I cry.
Skull
Yeah.
with us, a blast.
Wonderful.
One of my favorite games.
We were fun people.
We're 2 wild and
You
crazy
play-
guys.
You play fun games with fun people.
I tried to demonstrate that game to some younger folks,
Oh, let's just come out and say it.
millennials. They didn't quite get it. They were disinterested.
Too busy on their
I
Twitter.
did not enjoy that game of Skulls at all because it's like they just refused to want to enjoy it. I'm like, oh, y'all, what are you doing? This is an awesome game. I did enjoy it. Like Game of Thrones I know that's with any game, but the 4 of us, me, you, Zach, Enrique,
We're all fun people.
me, you, and Enrique, we're the kind of the threesome that play every game together.
Super fun.
Well, at least 2 of us.
Well, don't be hard on yourself.
Holy Enrique. Enrique, I have to have somebody I can beat.
Okay. Yeah.
So Enrique comes into play.
I love how when we play a game that's a new game, and all it is that me and Gabi explain it to each other, one to the other, and we completely ignore Enrique, and Enrique spends the rest of the game just doing stuff. Just like having no clue of what we're doing. He's like, I'm invading Italy. Well, this is Concordia. You don't invade. You just trade. Oh, what's with this line?
Some games, Enrique will make moves, and you get angry at him. We're like, Enrique, what are you doing? That's a terrible move. I'm like, Jerry, just let it go. Let Enrique do his thing. You want to train your son.
I want to train him.
He's your adoptive
I've
son.
adopted him.
You've tried to take him in to teach him
I'm
gaming,
showing him the way.
but he refuses to listen.
He is my Padawan.
He does not want to listen. He's the Anakin. He does not want to listen.
One of these days, I'm going to take the high ground. I'm going to cut him in half.
So,
but Game of Thrones, love it. Feast for Crows, buy it.
if you play 4, buy Feast for Crows.
Yeah, definitely. The next game we played was a different type of kingdom. Still cutthroat, but very much lighter. We played Bunny Kingdoms again.
Quite as much interaction.
Yes, we played Bunny Kingdoms again to kind of clean our palate off of such a heavy game, and realize that it holds true. It is still one of the funner, or
It's the best card draft.
I got to thinking about this. Seven Wonders is an amazingly designed game. I do not like Seven Wonders.
Me neither.
I don't like Seven Wonders Duel.
I don't like drafting games, period.
I don't like drafting games, period.
In general. I say that
But
because
I appreciate that Bruno Cathala took Seven Wonders. It plays the same at 3 players as it does at 7. It is the same length and the same strategy. It is a wonderful game in terms of its design. I just don't enjoy it. So in terms of drafting, Bunny Kingdoms was just such a very light. It's a very light game. Richard Garfield, LL made it, the yellow with an eye. And it's just a very clean.
When I make yellow, it's going to be called Funny Kingdoms.
Funny Kingdoms. It's just a bunch of clowns making their little kingdoms. A gaggle of clowns.
Stories.
Huh?
Yes.
Oh, okay. All right.
Bozo.
If you watched Bozo growing up.
He freaked me out.
You did?
Yes.
I didn't like it. Yeah, he did.
Clowns in general.
I don't like clowns.
I'm not of the super paranoid. Clowns don't like I don't have a legitimate phobia, but Bozo, the clown from Chicago, he was always on WGN.
Yeah.
He always was kind of weird to me.
He freaked me out. I don't, Mr. Rogers.
How do we get him?
I don't know.
Wait, what?
I think you mentioned Funny Kingdoms. But Bunny Kingdoms.
Yellow, Funny Kingdoms, YELLOW.
Love it.
Look forward in the future.
Love it.
Funny Kingdom.
Kickstarter coming 2019. Love Bunny Kingdom. Still a great game. Then we played a new edition.
Wait,
what?
Wait, you're zipping past Bunny Kingdoms?
Well, rabbits are fast.
No. Okay,
What's
Bunny
a grouper?
Kingdoms.
Go ahead.
Listen, Bunny Kingdoms, we played. We played Bunny Kingdoms. Zacchaeus had left. John had stepped in. John, probably the closest to a genius we have in our friend group.
Yeah, he's bona fide.
So he plays Bunny Kingdoms, and he is zoomed to first place.
Zoom.
Jerry has counted himself out and thusly counted everyone else out, because if Jerry's not second, then who could possibly be? He kept saying, there's no way anybody's going to get close to John. There's no way anybody's going to get close to John. Well, hey, here comes old Gabby coming up from the rear, the slow and steady turtle to John's bunny. And I bypassed you for another second place landing in Bunny Kingdoms.
Second place.
And I was 10 points behind John.
You're proud of...
I needed one more carrot, and I would have beat John.
I want to bring out that...
One more carrot, either a carrot or a wood, I would have beat John.
I want to bring out...
But you had discounted me.
I want to bring out that if you can repeat somebody's first name twice, if your name is John or Ray, you're automatically cool in our book.
Oh, yeah.
Anyways, did you know that a group of wild rabbits, is called a fluffle?
Now that's just adorable.
A regular group of rabbits called a colony, but they say that there's people saying
a wild group of rabbits.
It's called a fluffle.
Well, that's just adorable.
Have you ever seen a fluffle of rabbits?
Now, why do rabbits get fluffle, but crows get murder?
Well, people don't like crows. People don't like crows.
That seems not good.
Come
to me.
join the murder.
If you could join a murder or a fluffle, which would you join?
I would probably join the murder.
Because you're dark.
Yes.
I would join the fluffle.
Nobody wants to be a feast for fluffle.
I love bunnies and kitty cats.
Okay. The next game we played is a newest edition that I was so excited to bring to the group that Gumby hasn't played, that I played at BGG Spring, High Society. And here's the thing. I love bidding games. I love auction games. High Society, if you listen to our top 5 of BGG Spring, was on it. Gabby, what did you think of High Society?
I loved it.
Loved it? Loved it? Loved it? Or loved it?
I loved it. Loved it.
Wow.
Now
We're about
hold
to
on.
get it. I know.
Okay,
Go ahead. Wait, hold on.
Well, what?
There's a caveat.
Where are we at?
There's a caveat.
What's going on?
A caveat's called when Gabby changes his mind. So basically, High Society. Let me explain the game.
I did win it once.
You did win it once.
Out of our 4 games we played.
Quick bidding game. The theme is that you're just a bunch of rich 1% people who are trying to keep up appearances. You have a handful of cards, which are money, ranging from like $1,000 to $25,000 cards. You bid on basically victory point cards that come out. When you put down a card, you cannot pick it up. So you can't make change with what you've put down in front of you. That's an important aspect of the game. As the game goes around, whoever bids the most gets the victory points. What's the catch? The catch is that at the end of the game, whoever has the least amount of money in their hands is out. So generally, the person who has the most victory points, because they spent the most money, they have the least amount of money everybody at the table, so they're automatically disqualified. So generally, the second place player wins the game. But another twist. Are you ready for this? There's cards that you don't want, that you're bidding not to take, that you're spending money not to get rid of, there are cards that cut your victory points in half, or cards that cause you to lose other victory point cards. So those are called faux pas. Ha 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 ha.
Faux pas.
Faux pas. Anyways, High Society. Probably my favorite light bidding game.
Yes.
By far.
It beats out, for me, No Thanks, which is probably the classic.
Yeah.
I'd rather play High Society than No Thanks in a heartbeat. As far as bidding, I'd rather play High Society than For Sale.
Boom. I was just about to say that. I love you.
They're very similar.
Yes.
But High Society for me beats No Sale. High Society, Zacchaeus won the first game, literally with 1 point.
Which made me
because it was so crazy.
Very
like all
bad.
Okay, what's the end game? 3 green cards or something?
The green cards are special cards that are in the deck, and once the fourth one has come out, the game is automatically over. And so that's just that. So the game can be very quick.
It can be for the first 4 cards,
or it can
hypothetically,
or it could just go all the way down to the bottom of the deck.
So, like, I had bid, Jerry had bid, Zacchaeus had bid, and like between the 3 of us, we had bid on these negative cards and these green cards, and Zach had bid on a 1 point card or something. I forget. I had bid on something that was like 4, but then I had to minus something. It was crazy.
Crazy.
And then the 4th green card come out,
and
Zach had 1 point to your 0, my 0, and then nobody else had even done.
Enrique's minus 18.
Yes.
The deal is that he got that 1 point card because nobody bid on it. It was given to him for free.
Yeah, that's right.
Everybody,
that's right.
So he won. And so it's that type of.
And we just hollered and screamed and laughed.
High Society was the game that got us in trouble at BGG for being too loud.
Yes.
Bubba, Enrique, and Paul.
Faux Paul.
High Society has replaced For Sale for my. It is now in my bag of games.
You have For Sale?
Yes, I do. It's
you had it. I had it here, and then I guess I gave it back.
Yeah, I have it. One of the games that
For Sale, a solid game. I really like For Sale.
I like it.
But High Society, as far as
bidding
and just the excitement of who's going to get what, and that last part of whoever has the least amount of money
that
is
gets you
out.
Every
that
single
gets
time.
you. For Sale does not have that.
Single time. It's now I carry around Skull and For Sale as my light party games wherever I'm at.
You You mean High Society?
What'd I say? High Society?
You said For Sale.
I meant to cut out. I used to carry For Sale.
You used to carry For Sale.
Don't.
It's been replaced by High Society.
High Society.
Just like Tammany Hall has been replaced by what?
Ooh, Tammany Hall.
You just traded Tammany Hall, did
I
you
am
not?
currently trading out Tammany Hall for a game called Polis.
You traded Tammany Hall because of Godfather.
Yeah, it just wasn't. Tammany Hall is an excellent game, but it has been killed. And the thing is about it, it's one of those games that, in my opinion, is very highly overrated. People talk about it all the time, like it's a great game, and it is a good game. It is a phenomenal game in what it does. It's just been killed. It's area control with special roles.
I've got to like it because the time we played it, 5-player,
you won it.
I won.
Okay.
Yeah, so there's that.
Now, I just want to bring out that High Society is an old Reiner Knizia game that just come
It
out
was
by
old, reprint it.
OG.
OG.
Osprey Games. Thank you, Osprey. The next game,
I love Osprey Games. So far. Okay, wait.
we were just killing it with Osprey.
Osprey Games. King is Dead.
Love it. London.
London.
Love it.
Love it. Where's the aliens game?
High Society.
Where's the aliens game?
Love it.
Escape from the Aliens in Outer Space, a rather lengthy title.
Yep.
But it's OG.
Still a good game.
I love their boxing. They have the same box for all these big games. London, King is Dead, London. No, wait. Escape from Aliens, whatever. Now High Society. Literally.
You said literally like 18
I
times.
know we do, because that's our word.
Is it?
1, 2, 3, 4 games. The 4 games that I even know Osprey has had. Do they have another game?
Yeah.
What?
The Lost Expedition.
I love it. It's a good solo.
You just let anything that's OG we like.
Anything Osprey Games, buy it.
I don't really like Lost Expedition that
I do.
much, but
It's a good solo.
It is a good solo.
It's an interesting solo.
It's interesting. It's interesting.
For me, Lost Expedition beats out, what's the other 1914
Friday.
World War II?
The Grizzled?
The Grizzled. For me, Lost Expedition beats out the Grizzled.
Nothing beats out the Grizzled in terms of co-op card games to me, but I will say they're both. I actually like the solo.
I enjoy Lost Expedition solo better than the solo. I'm not saying the game Grizzled, but for the solo Grizzled,
Oh yeah,
appreciate Lost Expedition better.
I'll give you that.
So that is 4 or 5 Osprey games. They're all hits.
OG,
You're doing a great job.
you're doing good. As a matter of fact, I played another.
So for your next game, whatever it is, send us a free copy to review. That's what we're
That's
going
called
after.
selling.
That's the
out.
only reason we created this podcast.
That's called selling out.
That's a sellout. We will sell out in a heartbeat.
I'll tell you another game that was made by Osprey Games that I played at BGG that I completely left off my list because it was neither.
What?
Yeah, it was not my top 5, and it wasn't meh. It was a decent game that I enjoyed. Osprey, the Star Cartel.
Never heard of it.
Look it up.
Are you
I'm
serious?
serious. It's a simple card game.
You've never mentioned this game.
I know. I just remembered it because what the problem was.
Wow.
What the problem was is that I went down and got it and forgot I had it. And then like at midnight, Bubba was up coding and was like, I can't sleep. And I was like, let's play this
We
game.
have got to get Bubba on this podcast.
Let somebody know what Bubba is.
People think Bubba is a myth.
No, Bubba's not a myth. Bubba's a man.
He's real.
He's real. He's OG too.
He's OG.
And so we stayed up and we played Star Cartel. I actually woke Enrique up. Enrique was over there. He's over there sleeping. I was like, hey, wake up. What? I said, we're going to play a game. What are we playing? We're playing this game. It doesn't matter. Just come over. If we played this game, it's a simple, the theme of it. I don't even want to talk about it. I don't even want to talk about it because it's such a simple theme.
I've never heard of it.
There's a market. The prices of these like 5 items go up and down. When you take cards, you're taking them off and you're filling up your spaceship. Your spaceship's a 9, so you can take 9 spaces worth of stuff. You take 9 spaces of stuff and you ship it out. And whatever you have the most of, like, gets sold. But whatever you have the least of, you pocket. You hide it. And prices go up or down depending on what you've sold. And so the idea is that you want to drive up the price of something and still have it. Anyway, Star Cartel OG, great game.
Mhm.
There's a freebie for you.
I didn't even know that was a game.
Good. It's good. It's like $15 on cool stuff. The next game I'm going to talk about is probably a top 10 game for us. I say it probably because we haven't done our list this year yet, and that'll probably be towards the end of the year. This game, I bought it when it first. No, it's a reprint. It's by Reiner Knizia, who also did High Society.
Reiner Knizia's, he's the man.
When it comes to bidding,
When it comes to bidding,
you just can't.
the man.
You cannot go wrong. This game
Raw, we did not really like.
did not like Raw. That was a
People love it. It's a big one.
no.
we didn't like it.
Miss me with the Raw,
Miss me with the Raw.
bro.
Go High Society
Medici
or
is
Modern Art.
Medici's good, but
Modern
Modern
Art, like-
Modern Art is the best bidding game I've ever played.
Okay, we're gonna go Modern Art. Let's discuss Modern Art.
We're going to talk about Modern Art, but before I do, I got to plug these
Okay.
people
Go ahead.
because it's made by Simon. Simon picked it up
Come on,
and they picked it back up and they reprinted it. Has excellent art. Simon.
Medici.
Yes. No. Modern Art. Modern Art is done by Simon. It got very little attention when it came out last year or the year before. I picked it up for dirt cheap. Bought it from somebody. Love it. It is a bidding game. Simon, who also did The Godfather, which is our game of the year last year. We like Simon games. Simon also did, what other Simon games do we have on our shelf? Why am I glancing?
Lorenzo,
Oh, yeah. This my favorite Euro.
your favorite Euro
Boom.
of all time. Simon has solid games. Godfather.
Oh, yeah. So Simon is just a,
Simon does good. Simon and TMG to us have been knocking them out of the park here lately.
Simon, Z-Man. When I look at our shelves,
OG.
when I look at our shelves, I see a lot of OG. I see a lot of Rio Grande. Actually, we have a lot of Rio Grande games.
Where?
Simon.
What are you looking at?
I'm looking at Concordia. I'm looking at where's Shogun? Where did you do with Shogun?
Oh, Shogun is Queen games.
Queen Games. I'm sorry. I'm
we
looking
don't have a whole lot of Rio Grande.
Airlines Europe. Love Airlines
I
Europe.
love Airlines Europe, but
Airlines
that's
Europe.
about 2 Rio Grande games.
Well, the two that we have are pretty.
And actually, of a Queen game, Shogun is probably about the only one we really like at this moment in time.
Yeah, Lancaster was a bummer. Before we get
No,
into modern
no,
art,
wait,
before we
hold
get into
on.
modern art, let's back up
Okay.
to Lancaster.
Okay.
Before we get into modern art, we're going to talk about Lancaster.
Okay.
Lancaster's an old.
Don't say it was a bummer. Don't say it was a bummer.
It was kind of a bummer. Did you
Lan-
know? Did you know? Fun fact
Here we
that
go.
a group of cheetahs is called
A Lancaster?
a coalition. Yes,
A coalition?
of cheetahs. So let me use that in a sentence for you. Help! I'm being attacked by a coalition of cheetahs.
They're going to murder me.
Ooh.
Yeah. So then what are you to believe? The cheetahs are killing you or the crows?
Do you know what a group of buzzards are called? Buzzards?
Flock.
A wake.
Oh my, that's because you dead.
That's pretty cool.
If a flock of buzzards is on top of you, you dead.
You, I guarantee you, you ain't woke.
I don't know.
Oh, Jerry, you're so funny.
You're such a cad. Queen games. Queen games.
Yeah.
They tend to be old.
Like the queen.
Queen games. What was the one that you just said you were talking the other day? And you're like, I've never played it. It's a classic, but I want to play it.
Queen.
And I had it, but I sold it because it was just a card game.
Oh,
and you're building walls.
Alhambra.
Alhambra.
And I said that I was ashamed that I was a snob
Alhambra
and I
is-
never had played Alhambra.
Alhambra is a classic. I understand how it is appreciated. It's very, to me, Alhambra is Airlines Europe,
But Airlines Europe is good.
but Airlines Europe is fun.
It's fun. It's investing.
Alhambra, you're building a city, basically. You're investing in these different colors. You're building a wall that the longest wall counts for so many points. It's Queen games. It's old.
Mm.
I don't like the card play in it because it's random. You might get stuck with these cards you can't do nothing with. It's a fine game. I can appreciate what it was in the day, but Queen games to me puts out Old stuff.
Old stuff. It's just tired. If I had to describe Queen games,
In my selection right now, I have Shogun, Lancaster, Armageddon. We've played Shogun. We enjoy it.
like
it's
it,
long,
but it's long.
and it's old.
It's old.
We can tell it's old by the gameplay. Lancaster, we played it. I enjoyed it. I kind of liked the kicking out of the knights with my 3-knight to your 2-knight.
I never want to play it again.
But the laws that go into effect,
Waste of time.
they really slowed down the game to a grind that we did not enjoy. That seemed unimportant. The voting seemed unimportant. Jerry had like 30 votes. He could have voted at any point just all by himself.
But I didn't vote.
Just didn't care.
I just didn't vote. We never voted.
Like, part of Lancaster I appreciate and can like. The laws I wish could be fixed, but you see its age.
Yeah.
I also have Armageddon in my possession by
Which
Queen Games. That came out like
horrible.
But it came out like
Horrible.
I think it came out in 2015
It has that.
or 16.
The thing I hate about Armageddon, everybody knows, whoever plays across from Ben Affleck, you always die.
That's true.
Whether it's Matt Damon,
Armageddon, my top 3 movie.
whether it's Bruce Willis, you just die. Superman, he
Great
killed
soundtrack.
Superman.
Great soundtrack. Who?
Ben Affleck.
Oh, you're going crossover.
I'm crossed over.
Armageddon is one of the greatest movies of all time. Michael Bay produced. James Horner soundtrack. I think. Maybe Hans Zimmer. I don't know. But it's a great soundtrack.
I thought it was Aerosmith.
No, Aerosmith really did have a big part. Did you
I'm
know?
preemptively taking
Wait,
your phone.
no.
Preemptively taking your phone. I don't want
Did you know that was their biggest song of all time?
Yes. Yes.
Aerosmith has been rock gods for
Forever.
years,
I think
decades. Armageddon comes out, that's the number 1 song.
Okay. I want to bring this up. Shrek.
Can I have my phone back?
No.
Give me my
Shrek.
phone back. I might get an important
Nobody
phone call.
cared about Smash Mouth anymore until they redid that Beatles song.
I might. Armageddon.
We cannot play an
The movie-
No, do not play
It's
any more
amazing.
music because we are going to get.
I'm not.
Okay, so
Nobody cares
I
about
want
us.
to talk about modern art.
But Armageddon, the movie.
$50 billion. Like how much it made.
The game I have in my possession, and I've had in my possession. You know why I have it in my possession?
Just say possession one more time.
It went on sale for like $10.
Wow. So you got it?
Tom said it's one of his top
Who's-
Queen games.
Who's Tom?
Tom Vassell of the Dice Tower?
Don't know him.
Yeah, you do.
Nope. Sorry.
Oh, yeah, you do.
Don't know him. Go ahead.
So I was like, okay, it's solid. It's got bidding in it. We love bidding, and I just had to get it.
Look, I'm going to say this right now. Queen Games, they make some tired games. I got into a tournament with Pioneers last year. Does anybody know what the game Pioneers? Do you remember Pioneers? Of course you don't.
It just came out.
It's tiresome. Don't buy it. It's tiresome. It's
Yeah.
just not. They make tired games. The last good game of theirs that I played that I loved was Shogun. Shogun's good.
Queen?
Queen game.
They made Pioneers?
Yeah.
Really?
And it's tiresome. They like a lot of yellow in all their boxes, which I don't know. It's called art design, guys. Hire somebody that can use a different hue.
Well,
Speaking of which, I want to go back to beautiful art,
go back.
which makes me think of modern art,
Go back.
which is the best bidding game that we own.
It
right?
is. No. Oh, modern art, yes.
Best bidding game we've owned. Here, now, let me describe what modern art is.
But again, it
Well-
goes back to who you play it with.
I will say that I know that a group of stingrays is
Well-
called a fever. I found this website that tells what different groups of animals are, and the fact that you call a group of stingrays a fever. Is that what they, I mean, what a great, who decides this?
I got a fever.
I got a fever, and the only prescription is
There's
more
more
stingrays. Oh man. A group of owls. A group of owls.
A hoot.
Nope.
They should be called a hoot.
Nope. Do you know what they call? A parliament.
You've got to be
No,
kidding me.
a group of owls.
Why do they get such a regal thing and crows are called murder?
Murder.
Crows, I would rise up if I were you and take over the owl position.
Do you know what
You're being held down.
a group of mice?
Oppressed.
A group of mice, which I thought was what a group of mice is called.
A group of mice?
Yeah, not men, mice.
Of mice.
Subcultural reference there. Cultural
A
reference.
group of mice is called, don't tell me, I'm going to guess, a lemon.
No, a mischief.
Oh,
A mischief of mice.
that's, if I was a mouse, I would be offended.
Oh, mosquitoes. A
So-
group of mosquitoes is
Oh.
called a scourge.
Well, they should be
That
called a
makes
scourge.
sense.
That makes sense.
That makes
A mischief of mice. Now, question.
yes.
Who sees these groupings of animals? Like, I've seen a mouse. I've never seen like a horde of them coming toward me and say, oh my God, they're up to mischief.
Well, you just never know. The three blind mice, they were up to
I
mischief.
wasn't up to no good.
They're up to no good.
Trying to make trouble in my
Do you
neighborhood.
Look, you're not the Prince of Bel Air, but do you know who?
Really? Are you going to name off all animals on this podcast?
I am fascinated by this.
Who decides this? I tell you, it's not right.
What?
And a group of owls is called Parliament. Why? They eat groups of mice called scourges.
Mischief.
Mischief. The mosquitoes are scourges.
Yeah.
But owls are murder. Crows are. I'm already
Wait,
confused.
here's the thing.
Crows are murder.
Here's the thing.
That's wrong.
Crows are probably about murder because of the writer, Edgar Allan Poe. And owls are
Crows.
parliaments.
Those are ravens, though.
I know, but they got confused, just like I did just
Same
then.
thing.
Owls are parliaments because Parliament takes care of mischief, just
So
like
owls
owls
eat
eat
mice.
mice. And that's very fascinating. And it's also fascinating to know that a group of vipers
You're using fascinating very loosely.
is
now.
called a generation.
Wait, what?
Vipers, a group of generation.
No. Who
So, like,
has
what-
run into all these groups of animals?
When you see those guys that live down the street,
like a bunch of snakes in leather jackets.
when you see your neighbor,
Generation.
when you see your neighbor over there's got the mullet and he's got his Dodge Viper. When he's got those two of them, the old one, new one's like, well, there's a generation.
But and a bunch of owls with white wigs on.
I hope he's not a fan.
We're in Parliament.
Speaking of,
Old boy.
we're going to stick to this. We got to get talking
What?
about modern art.
Okay.
Modern art has great artwork in it. It's designed by
That's a severe left turn, just FYI.
Reiner Knizia.
We went from groups of animals to modern art.
Modern art is one of the games that I do not know how to tell you how to win.
And
I don't know what the strategy is to it. I win it. I've won it. I've probably had the highest score ever in modern art.
Oh, blah blah blah.
I'm so humble. But it's it
humble.
when you're given a hand of cards and they're all paintings by different artists, and there's like 5 different artists. And so the artists are color coded to help you understand which one goes where. And each card has a different type of auction on the card. And so when you offer this card up for auction, it's that type of auction. And the different auctions are just a regular auction where everybody just keeps bidding until somebody says, okay, they bid the highest and nobody else will bid. There's a blind auction where everybody puts their money in their hand and they open up at the last and this is the price. There's a double auction where you auction 2 paintings at once. There's also a fixed priced auction where you say, I want this much money, and the person to your left can either take it or pass until it gets all the way around until it gets to you. And if it gets to you, then you have to pay that price. So there's various types of auctions on each one of these cards. Here is the thing that blows my mind. The paintings are worthless. When you begin the game, everything is worthless. Each round, you're just auctioning cards off. And the round ends when the 4th of a certain artist's card is played. The round is already over. That you don't auction that card, the round is over. And then you look out and you see what cards have been bought in auction. Whichever artist has sold the most paintings, their paintings are now priced at like 30 million a piece. The second is worth 20 million. The third is worth 10 million. And then the players sell those cards for that price. So the first round is just a setup round, sort of. The second round, you do the same thing, but the prices will compound. But on the first round, if your paintings were worth $30 million a piece, and this artist doesn't sell any paintings whatsoever, his cards are now worthless that round.
Right. So the first round,
It's just a setup.
It's just you don't know what anything is worth anything. It just happens to be what the players decide.
Right.
But the first place painter gets 30, then 20, the second, and then third gets 10. So then you have that as a base. So then the next round, okay, this painter, he's already worth 30. So then most people say, all right, I'm going to start this one out at 30 because that's what he was worth. And then as the rounds progress, it gets kind of more crazy.
And also, the idea is that as you see that an artist's work is worth more, obviously, if this artist was number one the first round, number one the second round, now his paintings are worth $60 million a piece. This third round, when you offer one of his paintings, if you offer one out of your hand into the auction, you know you're going to make a pretty sizable amount of money on it. And so it's like this idea that you want to make money off this card, but then at the same time be trying to mess other players up by driving down the price of that card. So you're trying to mess other players over by offering cards that they're speculating what their worth might be. If this sounds confusing, it's because it is. The first time you play modern art, you really won't know what you're doing. The second game is amazing.
The second and third round, you'll understand it.
It will click.
This is my question for you.
Yes.
I hate to admit this.
Go ahead.
We've played 4 games of modern art.
Here recently.
You've won all 4.
Here recently, yes.
Why is that?
Why have I won it?
What do you do to win modern art?
Okay. Well, number one, full disclosure, I've played 4 games with you. I played it several times before I got the game because
How dare you?
But anyways.
Interesting. Duly noted.
There are 2 ways of thinking when you're playing modern art. The first thing is that you're playing 2 different people. You're playing the person who's selling the art, and you're playing a person who's buying art. And so what I will do is I'll watch and say that this one particular artist, he's selling it. His paintings are worth $60 million a piece, and they're probably going to be worth $80 to $90 million this piece. So what I do is I'll offer one of his cards, get paid on that card, obviously, make a great deal of money, but then I'll spend the rest of the round trying to mess y'all up, trying to drive the price down, trying to do everything to make sure that his paintings are not worth the top spot. And so I have to shift gears and go, all right, I'm offering this to make money, but then I offer this card knowing that I want to buy this one. And so I'm very selectively picking up certain cards. But at the same time, one tactic that I always do is at the beginning of the round, I count my money. And so I know exactly how much profit I make from round to round. And like, I think my highest score is like 600 and something million.
668.
668. Thank you for keeping records. And you start off with
BGG stats.
Start off with 100 million. And so in 4 rounds, I made $668 million in total. So that's how I keep track of it. I just track my profits and go back and forth. But modern art is one of the most amazing bidding games. If you don't like bidding, if it's a mechanic that you just like in certain games, do not buy modern art.
No.
Buy High Society. It's lighter, something you might enjoy, but do not buy modern art. If you truly love bidding games, this is the game for you. Matter of fact, the game encourages you to, as you're running an auction, to kind of give a brief overview of the art and say something, kind of snobbish.
John always does a good job of selling his art.
He does an excellent job selling his.
He gets into it. He becomes a curator.
But this is what I want to talk about, as you mentioned earlier, about how sometimes when you play games with people that make them funner. When we play modern art, do you realize every time we play it, we always crack open a bottle of something. We speak in high.
That always helps.
Yeah, we start talking in British accents.
Sure.
We start talking about the art. We start just
because the 4 of us literally know nothing about art.
No, it's like okay, and we just make up stories about
Thomas
this art.
Kincaid, the painter of light.
Yes, that's it.
He's all I know.
And we start just, and it is literally. I made a joke last time we played that we need to buy a top hat and a monocle and just sit around and just act like we're art curators, because the theme of this game comes through. It's made, like I said, made by Simon. It's a longer game. It's not a quick game. It's not a light game, but it is by far the best bidding game I have ever played.
Hear, hear.
Hear, hear. What time is it?
We're at 55 minutes.
Wow. All right. So we got to get off of here. But before we get off, A group of rhinoceroses.
Wait. Is it something weird?
No. Yes.
A group of rhinoceros
Yes,
called a...
It's the name of a movie that was very popular. One word, multiple, like Oscars, Emmys, and everything.
Citizen Kane's.
No, one word.
Oh, wait. One word.
A group of rhinoceroses called Citizen Kane's. Are you serious?
Godfathers.
No. Crash.
Gosh.
You know what our group would be called? We're a group of snobs. Snobs. I also know a group of ravens is called an unkindness.
I've heard of that.
Okay. Well,
why are birds getting the shaft? That's my question. Unkindness, murder.
I don't know. They call
Wait. Look up a group of doves. See what a group of doves is called.
Well, that's a dovecot.
Look up pigeons then.
A group of doves or a pitting. A group of what did you say?
Pigeons.
Pigeons. They're called a flight.
Oh, that's not.
Yeah, that's not that great. Well, there you have it. We hope that you have enjoyed an array of conversation, which
an array?
Yes, an array is a group of hedgehogs.
I knew it.
Follow us. Yes. Follow us on boardgamesnobs.com, on our Twitter, on our BGG.
If you like us, if you like me and Jerry.
If you really like us.
If you really like me and Jerry, besides our our 8 biggest fans, Joe G, shout out.
Friendly
Frankie, shout out. Giuseppe, shout out.
You don't have to say shout out every time.
Jeff,
shout out.
SO.
G off.
Jeff, that was our 4th one.
Wait, it.
What's our other 4? I thought we had 8.
I know a group of cockroaches is called an intrusion.
That's where we need to stop. Wait, what's our other 4 fans?
I don't know.
But you need to contact us more often. Joe G writes regularly on the Board Game Guild.
Here's something that we
Giuseppe writes regularly to me as Board Game Diner on Instagram. Friendly Frankie is just a memorable name. That's the only reason I remember.
Here's something that I would like.
If you like us, recommend us to your friends and let us know that you like us. Because we have low self-esteem.
I don't.
And I sit in a dark corner and I cry.
Well, you have clinical depression. As a congregation, which is a group of alligators, I think that we be nice if somebody would send us an email at boardgamesnobs@gmail.com. Just what do you want us to talk about? What do you want us to?
Something new.
A question. Or something, a game perhaps.
You want reviewed. Okay. If you tell us a game you want reviewed.
Ooh.
Now, this is the caveat.
It's got to be available.
We don't like fantasy magical games. We're out of that.
That is kind of,
those are
just kind of blah.
There's tons of people for that. If you have something sci-fi, something bidding, something worker placement, something
cool
that you want us to record,
we'll be all over it like a battery of barracudas. A battery.
Stop.
Go ahead.
What is this website you're on?
thealmightyguru.com. I think I might have stumbled on a cult website. Go ahead.
Let us know something you want us to discuss, something that you find interesting, something you like about us, something you hate about us. We're open to that too. Jerry's all about that. He likes to take on haters.
I love hate. An army of frogs.
Ribbits.
No, it's literally an army of frogs.
An army?
It's called an army.
Why did they get such a cool name?
I don't know. Gnats are called a cloud.
Well, that makes sense.
Okay.
That's biblical.
Well, that's all for today.
We went to an hour.
Yep. This is Jerry.
This is Gabi. Hasta la vista.
Whatever.